Hi there, thank you for joining me on FERNCRAFTS. I'm Christine and I welcome you to my channel. Today I wanted to do a video on my collection of Dendrobiums and just speak about some of the different kinds of Dendrobiums that I have, and one in particular that I am confused about. Okay, so let's just go through them. So starting with these two right here, this is my Dendrobium TobeKey, which I've shown before, with its lovely blooms. And these blooms really, they are so rewarding for such a small plant, and I just lost the sun behind some clouds. So it's a very tiny pot, maybe a 2-inch pot. And this is the pot we got it in, and I haven't had a chance to repot her, not for any other reason, you know, I haven't gotten around to it. So and now she's in bloom, so I didn't want to really upset her, but these blooms last for over 3 months and they are beautiful, really beautiful, and scented too, so it smells really nice. The plant is quite large compared to the pot. It's growing wide because it's a compact dendrobium, and very rewarding plant. So if you haven't gotten one of these in your collection and are able to, I highly recommend having one. This is another. This is the Dendrobium Soothe celebrates, and the plant itself does not look that good because I took it outside and it got burnt, unfortunately, but I didn't do anything to, like, you know, clean it up or trim it up to make it look pretty. Just left it like that, and it was doing good, and I think that move outside was not so good, so I brought it back in. The roots are really growing well, and this again is another compact dendrobium. So what that means is, for those of you like me who are running out of room and would like to have dendrobiums, these are really good options to have. They're small, they don't grow much taller than they are right now. Maybe the Dendrobium Soothe might be a little more, grow a little taller and branch out a little bit more because it's kind of looking straggly right now, but yeah, so you got the small size. Now moving on to the other one that I've shown you even quite recently, it's the green apples, the little green apples, and I love these flowers. Like, I can't show you enough. They are so pretty, and I love that dark lip with the apple green sepals, which is really nice. So this is a larger dendrobium, obviously, and the canes grow larger than they are right now, taller than they are right now. I've heard some people have them like over 30 to 40 centimeters, 30 to 40, yeah, like that's probably more than a foot, right, in height, but mine isn't that tall. And again, I took gave it a little too much sun maybe, so there's a little bit of the red tinges on there. It's a cooler growing dendrobium, but it's a profuse bloomer, so I'm very happy about that because I love the blooms, and if I could have more of them, why not, right? So this is on this, when I got this dendrobium, this is the 4th set of blooms, so you can see the past blooms, the old canes of those off there, and this is the last bunch, so I am really happy I got this dendrobium. Now moving on to the next one here, this is a no ID, and it's a Dendrobium Phalaenopsis, which means, as the name indicates, it is also got it likes the cooler temperatures, and it doesn't need as much sun. It doesn't lose its leaves, which is another thing with most of the dendrobiums. Some of them need winter rest, but this one doesn't, and it also rewards a spray of flowers. So it's off from the middle of the orchid. Like I could show you, I haven't had a rebloom on this one as yet, but there was one here when I bought her, and it was this long spray of flowers with about 8 or 9 flowers on them. So it's quite a display, and I look forward to that. I had this orchid outside for the summer, but I made sure to have it in a very shaded, not too dark, but just shaded where she's not getting direct sunlight. And I'm going to see if that makes it any different. I can already tell that she loves it because her canes are really plump, and just the leaves are looking so much better than they did when they were inside. They were a little too pale for me, and I thought it would be better to have her outside. So that's one. The next one here is the Dendrobium Cannonade, and again, this is one of those orchids that I got a very small one of, and then I think I shared this tip with you to have it in these Starbucks cups with the domes on. If you haven't watched that video, I could you could find it under my videos. I'll try to remember to link it down below. So it really helps with the humidity. As you can see, lots of root activity, which I can't show you through this opaque pot, but you can see that the roots are coming out. And what I do is leave very little water in the bottom of the cup here, and have it in there with a dome on top, and it has grown a lot. But I find that it's a little pale, so I'm hoping to give it a little more sun and see if that helps. So yeah, that's Dendrobium Cannonade. And this one again, now this is a cool growing orchid, and it does not need a winter's rest. The blooms are set to, well, it's set to bloom in spring, and it grows well mounted. So I have an idea with this. I'm gonna get it to bloom, I'm gonna get it to grow a little more, and maybe in the springtime when it's supposed to bloom, if it does not bloom, which I'm thinking it might be a little too young too, but if it does not bloom, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this orchid. So stay tuned for that. It'll be my first try at mounting an orchid. I might get to one sooner than that, but I do want to try that. My only concern with mounted orchids is the maintenance and having to you know, keep them moist. So I'm trying to come up with a method where even if I were to forget it for a few days, it's not going to be the end of the world. So let's see. I've looked at a few options that some of you have done, and I want it to be easy enough for me to do, as well as to care for. So that's going to be something. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, so she still lives in this cup and is doing well, but I'm going to be giving her a little bit more sun. Now, on to the next one, which is this one here. It is my Dendrobium nobile, and this one is the Dendrobium Comet King Akatsuki crossed with a Nagasaki. I got this orchid, I believe, 3 years ago now. It was one of my first orchids from my visit to Clouds Orchids here in Ontario, and I unfortunately have not been able to get it to bloom. I don't believe I bought her in bloom either, so I haven't seen the blooms, but I've seen pictures and they're beautiful, and I'm so eager to have a bloom. So this time I put her outside again, like with most of my orchids. I put her outside, and I can say that I'm not sure about the blooming part of it, but definitely helped in getting new growths. Sorry, I'm trying to keep my hands still while showing you things. Yeah, so you'll see all these, so many. It seems like almost on every cane there's some new growth. So yeah, like right here and all along the cane. almost every cane. So there's lots and lots of new growth, which is a very good sign. So I'm looking forward to that. I have her in one of my, you know, homemade pots where I've just put holes in the side, and lots of root activity, like you can see. And again, at the bottom of this pot, I have a little bit of, well, I have her outside, so she's been getting a little bit of rainwater too, so I've just made sure that there's not too much water sitting in the pot. But she's liking that. I can tell she is definitely liking that. So I'll keep you posted on anything that happens, but I am looking forward to some blooms. Yeah, you see? There, as well as on here. So definitely excited about that. That's my nobile. And one thing with the nobiles is that they do need a winter rest, like most of you know, and they're sympodial, meaning that they form pseudobulbs. Now I think most dendrobiums do, so I don't know if that's any different, but when the mother plant is starting to end its life cycle, this is what she does, is put out offsets and then continues the life of the plant from there. But these are epiphytic plants, which means that they attach themselves to other plants. So I'm thinking again to experiment and see if I were to, you know, change the medium in such a way that she feels attached to something. If they can, it's probably to draw nutrients as well from the plant that they're attached to, but kind of mimic that in a little bit. So I have a few ideas. Let's, you know, see what comes out of that. Now here is the orchid that I really wanted to do a video on, more for health, but I thought that'll be a very boring video, so I left it to the last. This here is one that I got from the Orchid Society's members table a long time ago now, and it was named Dendrobium Zdenka. I've searched high and low, and I'm pretty sure at some point I did have some information on it, and I was able to find something on the internet, but lately I have not been able to even get anything with that name. So it's now become a mystery orchid to me. I know it's a dendrobium. I don't know anything more than that. I'm looking from the canes. They're kind of woody, so I don't even have anything to compare it to, because these canes on the nobile are very fleshy. They're soft, but these are more woody. And let's go back here to the compact kinds. These are also a little woody, but obviously they're the compact ones. And I'm thinking here, now these are a little woody too, but the canes don't look like, don't look very similar. So yeah, it's a mystery orchid to me. And what happened is one of the canes broke off and it's hanging here for its life. So what I'm going to do is just just pin it up here to this stake here and let it just hang out. And I think I saw something I wanted to show you on this cane, but now I can't find it. Very typical. But yeah, I can't find it. But like, I had her outside as well, and she likes it because she's growing. She's resilient. She lost all her leaves on the top, and she has this one tiny leaf. Let me show you that, just there. But that's all she has, the one leaf. And then she's now started to put out canes from the bottom, which is a good sign. So yeah, if anyone can help me out with that, or even point me in the right direction as to how I can try and identify this orchid, or even to find out a little bit more on how to care for her, So that's what I wanted to share, guys. It's my Dendrobiums, and like I've said a few times before, I've not been very successful with Dendrobiums. I kind of feel like you know, it's something that it's almost like a challenge to me, so I'm working on it. But I'm happy that at least the Dendrobium hibiki, I was able to get a rebloom on it. And I know my mom's been quite successful with the Dendrobium Phalaenopsis and having reblooms on that. So yeah, stay tuned, and I really appreciate you guys for your comments. Do enjoy your orchids. We're getting closer to the end of summer here, and the temperatures are cooling down, but that also tells me that it's time for some blooms, and it's really nice to enjoy your orchids all year round. So if you haven't done so, come check us out on Facebook. We have a lovely group, FERNCRAFTS, Love of Orchids, and I know some of you have been posting your orchid pictures, and they are such beautiful orchids. Some very helpful tips that are shared there, and I really appreciate all of that, and I'm sure everyone else does who's part of the group. So if you haven't done so, yeah, check us out and join the group, okay? And here on YouTube, if you haven't done so as yet, do subscribe. You'll be the first to know when I upload a video. So until next time, enjoy your orchids, guys. Bye-bye.